Okay, so the Premier League has come to an end today, and what an end it was, I must say. Now at the start of the season I made a prediction table for the Premier League. I didn't actually upload the video because the footage was really blurry and messed up, but I've still got the table with me and I'm just going to go through my prediction compared to what the Premier League table actually was. So starting off with the bottom three, I actually did really well on the bottom three. As you know, the bottom three finished in 20th place Huddersfield, in 19th place Stoke, and in 18th place Swansea. And as you can see, I completely ripped off Huddersfield, which I shouldn't have done. I mean, they were still in the fight, to be fair, to be relegated, but I think like most people, I did just expect Huddersfield to completely crash out and go back down to the Championship. But I did then in fact predict both West Brom and Swansea to be relegated. I think my reasoning behind it was just simply they've been kind of clinging on in the Premier League for a bit too long now. And I kind of thought their luck had sort of come to an end, maybe like Sunderland had last season. And hey ho, call me Nostradamus, I was right, and they are down. However, the other team that I did not predict to go down was Stoke City. I think this was probably a big shock for everyone, probably like a happy shock for everyone, to be honest. Like, I'm sorry Stoke fans, but not a lot of us really wanted to keep you in the Premier League due to just your bad play, and he's not very good, are you? So yeah, Stoke City are going down, and I have to say, I didn't predict that one. I genuinely thought they'd be happy and safe. Now moving into sort of the guys that just avoided that relegation spot, which obviously, as you can see, with Southampton, Huddersfield and Brighton, I predicted Brighton, Stoke and Burnley. Obviously, I was way off with Burnley. I like, you know, credit to Sean Dyche, got to be up there for Manager of the Year. What he's done with that team on the budget that they have is just short of absolutely unbelievable. In fact, no, it is absolutely unbelievable. Taking them to 7th place with that team and that budget, when you think about it, realistically, he's not going to get into the top 6 with the money that the top 6 clubs have. That's just asking way too much of him, but he has done an incredible job with Burnley, and yeah, I have to take my hat off to him. But Huddersfield survived, obviously, like, I didn't think they would. I put Brighton in that sort of category. I was just too off of Brighton. Yeah, I think they've had a very good season defensively. Then the only team they really probably leaked goals against this season was Liverpool, 5-0 and 4-0. But hey ho, who can defend against us, eh? Obviously I predicted Stoke to stay up and be safe for another season, but that didn't happen. And Southampton was the bit of the shock one, actually. I think Southampton have always been kind of one of the, you know, they are like an established club in the Premier League, just like Stoke. No one really predicted them to be in the battle. I thought, you know, they'd finish safely around the 15th mark. Not really much of an issue, but I mean, they really struggled. It came down to, I know it was a 10-goal swing, but it came down to the last day of the season for Southampton to survive. And they're going to have to do some real recruiting this summer to keep their dreams alive for next season, because by the looks of the teams coming up, they're going to be in for another tough ride. Now again, in this bracket, which is 14th all the way down to 10th, or up to 10th, however you want to see it, it is again the same kind of team. I'm not getting many teams spot on, but it's always coming, like, you know, just within margins of each other. Like, you know, Watford are in there, Bournemouth are in there, Newcastle are in there, Palace are in there. Southampton, obviously, like I said, you know, I thought they'd finish quite comfortably in the league. But they did obviously go on and struggle. That was my prediction, completely wrong. That was the one-off. Watford did a little worse off than I thought. They actually kicked off to a really good start in the Premier League as well this season. Under Andre Silva, and I did genuinely think they'd finish around the 10th mark, but you know, again, their end of the season, well, it was kind of more like mid-season that kind of screwed them over a little bit. I still don't believe that getting rid of Marco Silva was the right decision, but you know, they're alive, safe and happy, and I'm sure they're not bothered about the position they finished in this season. Now again, with Bournemouth, I predicted them to finish 11th, and they did indeed finish 12th. Bournemouth actually had a bit of a rocky season this season. I thought they would have finished a lot stronger in 11th than they did in 12th. They've struggled in numerous games this season. You know, it's a bit of regression from last season, but I'm sure they'll kick on into next season and obviously try and improve that. I think it's kind of just been a one-off. I do believe that they'll go on and improve from that 12th position next season. Newcastle and Palace, again, just too off with these two. Newcastle actually did better than I predicted them to do. Newcastle finished 10th. Top 10 in the Premier League from Newcastle after coming back. I have to say, Rafa Benitez, what a fantastic job Rafa's done, especially with the team he's got, and obviously like the budget's had, like he's not really had a lot of funding from Mike Ashley, but he's actually had no funding from Mike Ashley. The players that he's got playing for him are, let's face it, Championship level. But you know, he still managed to do a really good job with them, and I mean, middle of the table, you can't really ask him for more in his position. And then Palace, you look at them, they were, you know, fearing relegation at one point in the season. Wilfried Zaha obviously coming through for them. I mean, I think Palace might struggle next season. I feel like Zaha might get a move to a bigger club, and that's kind of like their hero gone. But again, they did just a bit better than I anticipated. Obviously, me putting them 13th, and they finished 11th. Moving on to just finishing inside the top half of the Premier League table, we've got Leicester, Everton, and Burnley. Now, I put Leicester, Everton, and West Ham. I actually got, obviously, Everton and Leicester right. But I thought with the signings that West Ham had made in the summer, obviously that being of, you know, the likes of Hernandez, Zabaleta, Hart, like, I really thought they were going to go and really try and push for Europe this season, but they just completely crashed out. You know, they've had a load of like crap going on, turning against their owners, against their players, you know, and it's been a pretty diabolical season if you've been a West Ham fan overall. But not if you're a Burnley fan. Now, Burnley, like I said before, have done incredible. Like, especially Sean Dyche, he's done absolutely insane with that squad, getting them to European football. Like, Burnley are going to be playing in the Europa League next season. Like, that's actually just crazy to think about, especially, like I said, with the budget they've had, and at some stages in the season they really weren't too far off Arsenal. Like, you know, they don't actually overtaken Arsenal at one point, you know. But as I was saying, like, it's pretty much impossible to expect a team like Burnley to push into that top six with the money that all six of those clubs have. It's far too much to ask for me anyway. I think Burnley have done an absolutely incredible job, like, you know, way above what any of us expected them to do. And like I said before, Sean Dyche for me has to go up there for, I mean, you know, at least a nomination for manager of the season. Now, moving into the big boys of the league, the top six. Now, just falling short of the Champions League places, I predicted it to be the two North London clubs, Arsenal and Tottenham. Tottenham finishing in 6th for the reason of I thought the move to Wembley was going to be too much for them. I thought it was going to just destroy them, you know, trying to make Wembley their home for a season, as obviously their record at Wembley before this season wasn't fantastic, to say the least. And it started off not being fantastic as well this season. They really struggled to get that win at Wembley. I think it was actually around the time they beat us, they actually battered us there, that they actually really kicked on and probably made Wembley their home. You know, so I have to hold my hands up and say fair play to Spurs, you proved me wrong. You got into the top 4, but it was in fact Arsenal that finished 6th, and I can't really say this was much of a surprise. I think with the way the club's been going in recent years, they've been slipping and slipping and slipping. I thought they was going to go for the Europa League this season, actually. I really did think they were going to go all the way and win that one, but they didn't, and it's not been a fantastic end to Arsene Wenger's season. He obviously has picked up points in his last home game and his last away game, both 2 good wins there for him. You know, fantastic send-off. Credit to Arsene Wenger for everything he has done at Arsenal. I think he maybe just overstayed just that tad, maybe just that a couple of seasons longer than he should have done. But, you know, can you really blame him after all he's done for the club? Like, he was obviously in love with the place. He's certainly not going to stop there at football. He'll be in another job soon enough, I'm sure. But yeah, merci Arsene Wenger, and good luck in anything you go on to do next after Arsenal. You've been one of the best managers to ever grace a football field, and the rivalry you had with some of the greatest managers, again, like Fergie for example, was just phenomenal to be even like a small part of in my time. So yeah, just congrats for everything, Arsene, and good luck with whatever you move on to next. Now, obviously 5th place, I predicted Arsenal. I didn't think Arsenal would get into the top 4 like I just mentioned, but it was actually Chelsea. I thought before this season, I thought Chelsea had too much quality to necessarily miss out on the top 4. I mean, it's proven again, this kind of curse with the Chelsea manager. After they win the league, the Chelsea players kind of turn, well, not turn against them, but almost like just not, they're not really there. They don't really want to play for the manager or play for the club, and they've just not been quite at it this season. A lot of Chelsea fans I've seen on Twitter, and a couple of people I know as well, sort of labelling Chelsea as a sinking ship. I definitely wouldn't go that far. I think there's still a lot of quality inside. I just think, again, there's something internally wrong at Chelsea, whether it's like the board's communication with the manager or what, like I don't know, but it's always kind of this whole second season after they've won the league kind of thing, that things just go terribly wrong. Granted, you know, it wasn't as bad as what happened with Mourinho, obviously, when they finished 10th, but they've still missed out on Champions League football. They're not in that league competition anymore. But on the flip side, it could be a blessing in disguise. Who knows? Like, it could have been for Arsenal. You know, if Chelsea now go on to win the Europa League next season, that's a European trophy under their belt. Like, you know, I don't care what people refer to the Europa League as. It's still a major European trophy. And I think Chelsea will do really well to win that next season, and obviously have a fantastic opportunity to do so. Now moving into these top, well, like the 4th to 2nd spot, we of course have Liverpool, Tottenham and Manchester United. I predicted Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United. Manchester United got bang on, I thought. Now I always kind of knew how United would play this season. I think a lot of people knew they'd play a very boring style of football, and they wouldn't be very entertaining to watch, which, you know, for 90% of the season that's been the case. But the thing is about Mourinho is, and as much as it pains me to say it, he's a winner. And I know he's not won the league, but he's grind out the results. He's got the results he's needed to get to finish 2nd in the league, and, you know, fair enough. I mean, I know there's a lot of United fans out there that don't want to keep him as manager. I understand that as well. I think if I was a Manchester United fan, I'd probably want a more exciting style of football coming back into the club, kind of bringing back the identity of Manchester United, you know, being this fearful attacking team. But, you know, that's not the case at the minute, and I can't see United sacking Mourinho anytime soon, unless he does miserably next season. But I think the next step for United now is to either establish themselves in Europe again, as obviously, you know, they've had a terrible Champions League campaign, or to try and match City and really push them for the title next season, because I mean, they've just run away with it. Obviously, I overshot with my Liverpool prediction. I thought we'd get 3rd. We so nearly did right until the end of the season. Leicester kept bottling it. They went 2-0 up, then 3-1 up, then to 4-4 against Tottenham, and ended up losing the game 5-4. Otherwise we would have finished 3rd, but we didn't. Liverpool finished 4th, and I must say, despite finishing for like, it feels weird thinking, oh, we finished 4th and this has been like an incredible season, but I think just the brand of football that we've been playing, the way Klopp's had all of our players going, like just the energy and the passion within the team, and the fact that we've got a Champions League final in 2 weeks, is blowing me away. Like, we've shot way above what I thought we'd do. I thought, okay, if we could just get top 4 this season, I'd take this season as maybe being a last season without a trophy. You know, I'd take maybe a good push for the FA Cup and top 4. I would have taken that this season, and next season, when we're able to bring in the likes of Keita, maybe a couple of others as well, hopefully a goalkeeper such as, I mean, why not pay the release clause for all black? Liverpool fans, let me know what you think about that one. Yeah, I would have taken that, but top 4 in a Champions League final to look forward to, and I mean, with the way we've been playing, and Real Madrid certainly aren't at their best right now, I do genuinely believe we can go on to win that one. It's obviously going to be a really tough game, but I mean, I think I'd be stupid not to back us at this point. You know, we've got all the way to the final, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm going to be at Anfield for that game, by the way. I'll be vlogging the whole thing, so expect that video on my channel around about a day after the Champions League final, and let's hope we are 6 times winners by that point. Otherwise, it's going to be a very miserable vlog for me. Probably won't end up uploading it. And then, of course, like I said before, Tottenham proving me wrong. Fair play to them, getting into the top 4. You know, they finally found their feet at Wembley and probably made it their home. And congrats, like, fair play to them. They've done well. And then, of course, the winners of the Premier League, Manchester City. I think before the season started, like it was mainly between City and United. Everyone's kind of debating who'd win the league. I saw it coming. I don't think it was anything to do with like the signings Pep had made compared to Mourinho. I think it's just everybody knows Pep's man management is a lot better than Mourinho's, and just sort of the style of play that he plays, it's just more fitting for a team of champions than I think this whole sort of park of the bus style is. I think it's starting to fall off just a little bit, and I think Mourinho's probably going to have to change his game just that tad to possibly compete and stay up there with Manchester City next season. Because of course we all know that Pep's just going to spend and spend and spend, and Mourinho is as well. But yeah, 100 points. It's the most points achieved by a Premier League club over the course of a season. Obviously hitting that 100 is fantastic. It's the most goals ever scored in a season. I think they broke another record as well, which was just incredible. Like they really had just an unbelievable season. You know, just congratulations to them. Not gonna lie though, I think their video about winning the league, their little celebration video, did ruin it a little bit. They still kind of took a bit of an L with that one. But hey, they've got a Champions League trophy under their belt, so I guess they're probably really not complaining at all. But that is the end of the video. That is my Premier League prediction table compared to the real one. Let me know your predictions in the comments below, or just hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that good stuff. And if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below if you haven't already, or you are just new around here, And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.